The constitution of any given country is meant to establish a government and give a frame of its laws. The US also has a constitution, but it has changed a lot over its 2 centuries of independence. What most people don't know is that the current US Constitution isn't the first US Constitution. That would be the Articles of Confederation. The Articles of Confederation were superseded by the current one because of many reasons. The main one being the fact that the original government, the Confederation Congress, was considered by the states to not be strong enough to govern them. The year is 1775, and the United Kingdom's 13 colonies in North America started to rebel against British rule. The Second Continental Congress, which was a meeting from representatives of each of the 13 colonies, met in Philadelphia, where they created the Articles of Confederation in the first few years of the Revolutionary War, and was ratified in 1781. When the Revolutionary War ended in 1783, the United States gained full independence. At first, the government was not much different from the old British government. But one flaw began to show. The government that was put in place by the Articles of Confederation was weak, especially when dealing with disputes among the states and the short-lived rebellion in Massachusetts. Again, representatives from each state met in Philadelphia, then the nation's capital, in hopes of being able to mend the defects of the current constitution. This meeting was called the Constitutional Convention and started in 1787. Instead of fixing the current constitution, the representatives decided to rewrite the constitution entirely. This new constitution split the government into 3 branches: the legislative, the executive, and the judicial branches. The legislative branch was divided into the House of Representatives and the Senate. The House was made of representatives from each state. The number of representatives was based on the population of their respective states. The Senate would be made up of 2 senators from each state. The Senate would be split into 3 classes. First class to be elected every 2 years, second class to be elected every 4, and third class to be elected every 6. The legislative branch, or Congress, would handle things such as the debt of the United States, building roads and post offices, maintaining armies and navies, declaring war if needed, and most importantly, creating laws. The executive branch is made of the President and his subordinates. The President would be Commander-in-Chief of the United States Army and Navy, and would also have the job of signing bills into law brought forth by the legislative branch. If unfit to govern, the President will be replaced with the Vice President. The judicial branch would be made of all the courts in the land, and the head of which would be the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court would settle cases in between the states and in between different state citizens. They would also handle cases in between states and its own citizens, and cases of treason. The new constitution wasn't accepted right away, however. There was much debate over what should or shouldn't be done. The new constitution brought the idea of federalism to the table. Many people were against federalism at first, starting anti-federalism movements across the country. But eventually public opinion towards the constitution and federalism loosened up, and eventually the new constitution was ratified by the minimum of 9 states in order to begin the process of establishing the new government.